game, everyone. This is Rich Ramon, and you're listening to Still Toking with. Yeah.
Greetings, my friend. This is the brain of TV's Pinky in the Brain. Yes, and my human avatar, Maurice LaMarche.
Hi, it's Chris Poland, and you're listening to Still Toking with.
Hey, this is Eric Roland, voice of Kendo Rappa on My Hero Academia, and host of the Tough Love Podcast. You're listening to Still Toking with on the Dorkening Podcast Network.
My crew is ready to obtain the absolution, removing any doubt that we were ever fooling.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching Still Toking with. My name is Leo, and Mikey behind the keyboard here. We have a great show scheduled for you as always, and with us, Benjamin.
Yo,
What's
up?
Ceiling.
That was like, you almost seemed like you were reading that off of a note card. Like you were just so, but it's Wednesday, but you good tonight? You all right?
I'm good. It's a long week, a holiday.
I feel you. I feel you, man. Christmas is coming. Real quick, though, before we start, I know your mom's birthday is the end of this week.
It is.
So I want to say happy birthday to Mama Pond out there, because she watches us religiously. We love you. And with that, we have a great show tonight. We have a kick-ass musician coming to us from the West Coast. She's amazing. I gave it away. It's a female. Damn. And I have a different co-host tonight.
You do?
I do. Mr. Holman is still dealing with the family issues that ensued. So I want to welcome my boy Rico.
Hey, what's up, guys? Long time no see.
Yeah, right.
Every time you see me, I shed the pounds off, man.
Yeah, you look like you're getting younger, man. What's going on?
It's all those baby hearts, bro. It's all the baby hearts. They're good for you. They're nutritious for you. You blend them in with a little bit of watermelon juice. It's great for you, man. It's really good for your skin too. 6 minutes in. All right.
Yep. Derailed.
All right.
6 minutes in. You still haven't beaten Jeff, though. Jeff was 30 seconds. He derailed the show 30 seconds. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we have an amazing guest coming to us from the West Coast. She's a kick-ass musician. Let's welcome Dani Hagan.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. I mean, little old us, No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what's a baby heart?
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Oh, God. No comment. My attorney has instructed me to invoke the Fifth Amendment at this time.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Ben, remember, you invited me.
I did invite you. You're absolutely right. I missed you. Usually I have my counterpart, Jeff, but like I said, he's dealing with some family issues right now that he's got to take care of. We want to wish him and the family well. But here on the network, we always have people that love to jump in and help us. I don't know why, but they do. So
you gotta help the homies, man.
Right? So, Dani, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick.
Little me? Well, I'm originally from North Dakota, and I went to college in New York City, and then I followed the stars to California, and I've just been living out here, making music and doing what I love to do, and it's going really well.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I started making music when I was about, I started teaching myself piano when I was around 5 years old, and then started writing music around 9. So I'm one of those rare, fortunate people that always knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And then I grew up and I actually turned into who I wanted to be. So that's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. I'm still trying to grow up. So
never going to happen, Ben. Never going to happen.
No, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Did you study music in New York when you went to school?
I did. I went to a performing arts conservatory called AMDA. And so it was all acting, singing, dancing, really concentrated program. Yeah. And I loved it.
Awesome. My wife went to school for music as well, and she was a music teacher for a little while.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
How are you liking LA, or how have you liked LA and all that madness over there?
I love LA. I love the culture of it. I love So I lived in New York City for a while, and I literally had 5 jobs at one given point. And it was like, I was just kind of skimming the surface over everything, and I wasn't excelling anywhere, but I was doing all of the things. And then I came out to LA, and LA is like running at high speed in slow motion. So it's just like a different laid back tempo. And I was able to dive in and really pick my specialty of music and my really just sink into my own individuality once I moved out to LA. And I love it here. I love the weather. I'm from North Dakota. I've served my time in the snow. So it's raining right now, which is the equivalent of an LA winter. So
I gotta ask you, because it's your style of music is like rock, or like kind of like a blues rock country style.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought of doing the switch eventually to maybe like grunge or like emo sort of style? Because like I love your style with the way you dress in your videos. Which, by the way, congratulations on having your videos with Vivo. Which
Oh,
that's
Right.
that's a huge that's a huge
Yeah.
I don't know if you
That's a
guys
big.
know how
Yeah.
huge that is. That's real big for musicians. Has that something that crossed your mind, like maybe change into like some sort of My Chemical Romance sort of thing and stuff like that? I ask because that's my music.
well, the cool thing about being in LA is I'm in what we call the jam circuit. So there's different jam nights all around town where the best musicians in town get together on one stage, no rehearsal. We just pick our songs in advance. We get up on stage and we jam it. And so one night I'll be singing Enter Sandman, and then I'll get back up on stage and I'll be singing um, something from My Chemical Romance, or like it's all across the board. And because I've been doing these jams for years now, they were really quite career changing for me in terms of there was a big jam night where I established my band, where I was like, ooh, I have all of these amazing musicians. Who would I want to be on the tour bus with me? And I went, doot, doot, doot. And I wound up with an incredible band. And then it just expanded my range and my curiosity about music. And I do think that playing all of these random songs, whether they're emo, if I'm singing a metal song, if I'm doing country, if I'm doing full on pop, whatever it is, it influences me. I love to be influenced. I love to be swayed by music and feel that natural movement with it. And it radiates through my music in a really cool way. And I was actually in the recording studio this last weekend, and that was a really fun thing to play with, of recognizing, okay, this is too much of an influence over here. I want to turn the volume knob down on the new metal impact, and let's turn the volume up on a little bit more of like the alternative pop side or whatever it is. And having that be flavorings and seasoning into my music it's really cool. So I, depending on the type of show that I play, I'll play like a showcase that's all originals, or sometimes I'm the entertainment at a bar or a restaurant and we're playing a 3-hour gig, and so it's 50% original music and then the other half is just, I've got a whole black book of music, whatever I feel like playing that night. So it's quite a range across the spectrum.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. So just out of curiosity, what are some of your influences?
My main influences, I would say, is ZZ Ward, who I'm always shocked that people don't know who she is, but she's a massive influence on me as an artist. Very blues rock, pop blues rock with a little bit of hip hop, R&B flavor behind it. And another one would be Grace Potter. She's been around for a bit longer and definitely blues rock. Just love her so much. But also recently, Nothing But Thieves is this incredible European band, and I've been obsessed with them, and they've really heavily influenced my sound over the last couple of years. So those would be my if I had to list off 3, that would be them.
Okay. I gotta ask in continuing with that, with hip hop and stuff like that, a lot of artists like Connor Price, who have made like a really good standing on YouTube, are collaborating with like artists all over the world, like India, Japan, Puerto Rico, Colombia. Is that something that you see yourself doing here? Because I think like collabs are like really huge nowadays.
Absolutely. In fact, 2 of the songs that I recorded this last weekend, I planted a seed with my producer. I'm like, okay, we're going to do my solo version, but then I'd like to do a secondary version where we, maybe like there's all these competitions on TikTok to do like here's an open verse, throw me your open verse, and like, almost run a competition to see who would be the person that you would take on as a collab. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's how you expand your brand and your audience, is to borrow from other people's audiences. And the more people I can get in front of, the better.
Absolutely.
And I love collaborating. I love working with other artists, whether it's different musicians or songwriters or producers. Just like I said, I love the influence of them because it pushes me outside of my comfort zone and allows me to be curious and stretch out a little bit and expand.
That's interesting. That's interesting you say that, because that was one of the things that made Connor Price like stand out, was he started doing those duets on TikTok. And he got a song, like I think it was like top 10 most downloaded on Spotify, called Spinning. That's why I was asking that, because I enjoy music quite a lot. I listen to a lot of classical stuff, but I also like when it's collabs like that. That being said, would you or do you see yourself doing like a hip hop sort of thing sometime soon, like something like that, where it would be like a different side of you?
Sure. I mean, I'd love to do a top line. Do you remember that song Paramore did?
Which one?
Airplanes.
Yes.
I can't hear the melody, but I remember that collab
like
so
airplanes, like night skies, shooting stars. You can really use a wish right now. With what's his name? I forget his name.
B.O.B.
Yeah, B.O.B. with B.O.B. That was a beautiful collaboration.
I would love to do a top line like that. Absolutely. And
that would be cool.
You know, as long as the subject matter of the song aligns with me personally, then I don't discriminate. I love music. I was, raised as an opera singer and doing classical music and musical theater. And then when I moved to New York City and I started dating a boy from the South, and he introduced me to Southern rock. And I was like, why didn't nobody tell me? And then my musical horizons just like cracked wide open. So
I'm assuming that boyfriend's no longer there then.
No, we still have on each other. Thank you, Casey, for expanding my musical horizons. But no, he served his purpose, and that was to
expand her musical horizon.
Yeah, that was a really big gift that he gave me that changed the trajectory of my life. Absolutely.
Right.
That's fun to hear from the music side, because from the comedy side, at least from my end, like I always hear comics like they go to open mics, which is like where you see a lot of guys and all of a sudden Chappelle or someone would drop. Have you ever had that experience when like some big name wig just drops and starts jamming out in one of these sessions?
Oh yeah, all the time, especially when we were playing at the Viper Room on a regular basis. That jam night doesn't exist anymore, but when it did, it was just constant. I mean, we live in LA, so I'm a little desensitized to when a celebrity walks through the door, just because I'm just overexposed to celebrity. But every once in a while, I'll fangirl. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. So you just released a new EP, correct?
I did. Yes.
Tell us a little. Yeah.
It's called Kissing You, and it's like I said, it's raining in LA, so I was like, I'm cold, I want something warm, and I put up on this hoodie, and this is actually my merch, so I thought I'd leave it on. But this is Kissing You. It's like, the purple kiss kind of became my logo over the last year, so I've got like guitar picks that you can buy that have my name and a little purple kiss. But yeah, it's a EP. We released, I think, 5 songs so far for the EP, and it officially came out end of November, I think.
Yeah.
And Kissing You was a really fun track to do because it was the first song that I ever wrote on my electric guitar when I first got it. And it's like the simplest little guitar riff. And while we were recording it, a studio guitarist that we had brought in tried to change the guitar lick. He's like, what if we try something else? And the producer's like, no. I'm not a guitarist. I play guitar. It's a writing tool, but it's like a really simple guitar line. And he's like, that's the hook. That's what we have to keep in the song. And so that was a really empowering, like, it doesn't have to be complicated to be really, really good. Simplicity can be really great. And to watch that song really blossom and then become the title of the EP and represents the entirety of my music thus far has been really a cool journey. And we're stepping into the next chapter of the next EP right now. And because I've got one underneath my belt, now I'm approaching the next one a little bit more thoughtfully. And I'm just really excited to do the whole thing again.
That's awesome. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Leo actually has that EP.
I do.
title track video.
Why am I not listening to that in the background, Leo? What is
You're going to listen to it right now. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm done, cause I see no fun no winning this game. But once we begin the taste of the seed, I'ma scream in your name. We fall into the shadows where we think we're alone. You're stripping me down, you strip me down to the bone. Got me singing, babe, pour me a drink, cause I don't wanna think, cause I'm on the brink of kissing you. Try something, wanna ride something, get lost inside of kissing you. I thought we agreed that you're done with me and I'm done with you. So why are you here pulling me near the things that you do? I hate to admit it, but you still feel like home. You're stripping me down, you strip me down to the bone. You got me singing, babe, pour me a drink, cause I don't wanna think, cause I'm on the brink of kissing you. Babe, I wanna try something, wanna ride something, get lost inside of kissing you. I'm giving in, baby, one last time, but you can't fool me, I know that you're not mine. Just for tonight, we lay it all on the line. When tomorrow comes, we'll just turn back time. Got me singing, babe, pour me a drink, cause I don't wanna think, cause I'm on the brink of kissing you. Babe, I wanna try something, wanna ride something, get lost inside of kissing you. Drink, cause I don't wanna think, cause I'm on the brink of kissing you. Babe, I wanna try something, wanna ride something, get lost inside of kissing
I thought maybe you were playing it again because you liked it so much.
I was like commercial break.
That's the whole point of the music video, is that relationship is just on repeat over and over again. You just hit the rewind button and keep hoping for a different outcome at the ending. You know, the definition of insanity. So.
No, I loved it. I actually watched it numerous times since we first started communicating, which I think was back in the beginning of November.
Yeah.
You know, so I love it. I think the song's amazing.
Thank you.
I gotta ask. I know that you've been collaborating with Michael. I don't want to butcher his last name.
Michael Blue.
Michael Blue. Okay, I didn't know if it was French Bleu or something like that, and like Cordon Bleu, and it's like so. What's that like? Because he's worked with like One Republic and all these other people. Like, what's that like? What's that, having that level of genius like near you? Like, what's that like?
An absolute honor. I mean, he's incredible. He's launched so many different artist careers, and for him to accept me as one of his artists to work with was like a really huge honor and accomplishment. And with Michael Blue comes this whole army of incredible musicians that come with him. So on the album, you know Ringo Starr, right? He's a famous drummer from the Beatles. Well, Ringo Starr has a drummer. His drummer is Greg Bissonette. Greg Bissonette is my drummer because I've got Michael Blue. So it's like this wild, I'm on a really, really cool playground right now. I don't necessarily know if I belong there, but everybody's letting me join in on the party. So
isn't that the best feeling?
Yeah. So I'm enjoying the ride and enjoying being in this invited into the space. But more than anything, like when you get into the room and you're working on a track, like I did this last weekend with everybody, and I'm working with Michael Blue and Greg Bissonette and all these crazy musicians that are so accomplished and so far along in their career. But you put us all in a room and we're all just equals. We're all just musicians making music. And they were really inspired by the music that I write. And they came up with these great ways to expand and contribute and everything. I was like, I'm in there. I may not necessarily feel like I belong here, but I belong here and I'm doing something right. And it was really validating to this last weekend was really a big weekend for me. It kind of set the trajectory of the next 2 years of my life. Just like 2 years ago, the last time I did this set the trajectory of the last 2 years. And and Kissing You is one of the songs that is just me as a writer on it. And I didn't have a co-writer, but I had quite a collaboration in the recording. So, and then I got to go to New York City, or not New York, what am I thinking? I got to go to London to film a bunch of music videos. They're not all released yet, but that was one of the music videos that I filmed in London with our London team. So
wow,
really cool. Like one
right
connection has led to another, and all these amazing opportunities. It's like I'm not a household name, but I feel really successful in what I'm doing.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Sorry?
I said, are you having fun with it?
I'm having so much fun. So much fun. I love the journey. Like the day that we release a song is supposed to be like this high achievement and yeah, you did this. And it's such a anticlimactic moment for me because it's all digital and it's all just stats on a computer screen in the end. And so you're usually in a room by yourself with the, yay, I bought myself a glass of Prosecco. Yay. But everything to get to that point is what's the most fulfilling for me, whether it's being like writing the song, going through the experience that inspires the song, collaborating, recording, workshopping it in front of a live audience. I mean, anytime you put me in front of a live audience, I'm just thrilled. The journey of it is what's the most fulfilling, and it's a good journey, and I've got it. It's laid out ahead of me. I can't wait.
Excellent.
Wow, I gotta say,
everybody.
I got one. Angel Taylor is part of that Blue group, I believe, right? She's like a self-taught pop musician that's in LA right now. I think she's in that crew. One of the reasons I bring that up is because I've heard her music too, like the pop sort of pop blues style that she has, and I think that'd be really cool to see y'all collaborate.
Oh, I'll have to look her up. I'm very guilty of being so wrapped up in my own creative bubble that I don't always pay attention to everybody else's bubble.
No, I get it. You're like, you got your nose to the grind and you're like just going. Yeah, no, I get that. That'd be pretty cool though. I mean, you mentioned Paramore and it's like, oh man, it's hard to hate on Paramore. Like it's really hard.
I actually asked, who did I ask this? I think it was either Corky James or it was Greg Bissonette, because people always ask me and I never know what to say because it's an artist's least favorite question of what genre are you? Because, it's, I'm all over the place, really.
Yeah.
But it was either Corky or Greg who was like, I was like, if I had to open for, name off 3 bands that you think I could open for. And one of them was Paramore. And I was like, I'll take that. Thank you.
Evanescence.
I will let you know a little secret, not about Evanescence, but I wrote a song recently, and it was previously named Haunted. We've renamed it Doomed, and I performed it live a number of times now, and it goes off really well with audiences. But it's a song that's kind of written in homage to the style of Evanescence, because I have a secret talent of being a former opera singer. So I take rock and I layer it with my opera vocals, and we just cut the song in the recording studio this last weekend. So it's not released yet, but it's in the works, and I'm very curious what doors this song is going to open.
My question would be what about a collab with Seether?
Okay, sure. Why not?
She's like, yes. Don't. Why are you asking dumb questions?
You're throwing all these names out there.
She's like,
she's
sign me
yep.
up. It's a playground, right? Like, I want to try every different color in the rainbow.
Right. You just keep throwing the names out. She's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Well, yeah.
Why, do you know somebody?
Blink 182. I'm in.
Right. See, I was thinking Skillet.
Ooh, Skip. It's Seether, man. Seether is Stain.
I could see her doing a collab with Skillet with John, and I can't remember the drummer's name, but she's fucking amazing too. The 3 different vocal ranges. Just saying. But so, I'm looking forward to seeing the new video that you were just talking about with the opera, with the rock, because I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love that range with the rock behind it.
It's very cool. It's something I struggle with because I have left opera so far behind in my creativity. This was so long ago that I studied it. So I don't necessarily, everybody else loves the sound of my voice in opera. Apparently, that's what they tell me. I don't. So it's something I really struggle with. I still have to lay down the vocals in the recording studio. This is my insecurities coming out right now. But so I have to go back into the recording studio probably next week sometime and lay down all the opera vocals. And I already let Michael Blue know. I was like, you're going to have to hold my hand. You're going to have to tell me I'm pretty and they sound beautiful, because I'm not going to believe you. And I'm going to have a mental struggle recording this song. It's like my own personal insecurity. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. But I feel like it's an obstacle for me to get over. And once I get past it, it's really going to knock down a whole bunch of doors for me once I can charge through that wall.
Right.
So if you got the chance, which will probably happen sooner rather than later, to open up like a TV show, like with your music, or you got the chance, like, hey, here's the TV show, write us a song, like, what type of show would you do?
Anything that had to do with love, all of my songs.
So Hallmark.
I was just gonna say the Hallmark channel.
Hallmark, what's up?
As hopeful and loving and optimistic of a person I actually am, a lot of my music is a little bit not.
Oh no,
so,
after listening to that song, yeah, after listening to Kissing Me, I understand why my wife likes it. Like, I absolutely get it. I'm like, I get it now. I'm on board. I like it.
I love the complexities of love, and that we are all flawed humans, and it's such a personal experience. And I think that's part of my purpose on this planet is I have a gift with words, with the lyrics and with the melodies, and I can put a story to a song and people can hear their own experience in the music. And that's when music becomes really relatable. And they're like, oh, that's what I was going through. Music picks up where words leave off, right? Like, people can't describe their own experience. They can't really quantify what they went through, but music can help to fill in those blanks. And I think that's where I really have a gift as an artist. And I found that wrapping up my tender-hearted gift of singing about love and boys and romance and all those sweet things, wrapping it up in some rock and roll, the spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, or something like that. It's people are really receptive to my girly, feminine, heartfelt stories when it's wrapped up in rock and roll. Like, people listen in a way that they really hadn't before. And so it's been an interesting.
It's such a common theme though, like with rock, you know what I'm saying? Like I listen to like emo music and like rock and grunge, like Nirvana, Story of the Year, We Came as Romans. And like one of the things, it's like, it's just the love theme of like loss and betrayal and all this other stuff.
It's so human.
It is. Why did you not continue down the opera path? Because I to my understanding, and educate me if I'm being stupid, to my understanding, opera opens up a lot of possibilities for plays worldwide. Not that music doesn't, but to my understanding, the little bit of knowledge that I have, the other aspect with opera is to sing for like video games or like movies, like, like Star Wars, they use operas and stuff like that. Square Enix, a company in Japan, very well known for creating video games like Final Fantasy and all these things, they utilize opera singers. Like, why not that avenue?
I went through so much training as a kid in the best possible way. I've got a wonderful technical foundation in classical music, choral music, musical theater, all of those things. And I was always being cast in a role, right? Like you're singing the role of Papagena in the Magic Flute or something like that. And same with musical theater. I was always cast in a role. And I always felt like I was trying to squeeze myself into this mold to sound like that character should sound like. It wasn't until I moved out to New York City, I bought a guitar and I just started singing what I wrote. And then all of a sudden my original voice blossomed out of me. Thankfully, I had this great foundation, this great soil to bloom out of. But once I started singing my own songs in my own voice with an instrument where I wasn't trying to be anybody else, my actual voice freed up. And I didn't want to sing opera anymore. I didn't want to sing musical theater. I wanted to sing my music. And now all of that foundation from however many years ago is coming back and having this full circle moment. So yeah, sign me up. I will sing opera for a music video. Absolutely. Or a video game. But part of just my journey of discovering myself as an artist and finding myself outside of the constraints of a character or a role or a play and really being an independent individual artist on my own has really not something that happened overnight.
Kind of like Lindsay Sterling.
Right.
In the sense of like, I study this, but that's not the shit that I want to do.
You got to learn the rules to know how to break them.
Right.
So would you do America's Got Talent then? Is that a possibility? No. A lot of artists are saying no to that. I've had a lot of artists tell me, it's like, I won't even touch it. Comedians are now.
Those shows have really evolved into, and they're great shows. They're very entertaining, but they've really evolved into featuring the hosts or the judges more than the artists. It's a great talent show, but you haven't seen a Kelly Clarkson come out of that in the last 10 years, have you? Like the first 5 years that they had these talent shows, yeah, they were banging them out. And then we came up with Jennifer Hudson and all these incredible artists. But after that, those people became the judges, and the people that are on the show, unfortunately, they get the contracts really screw the artist over and really halt your career rather than launch it. You make a little bit of a fan base, but you won't get much in terms of growth. In my personal opinion, in terms of like what I'm looking for my career to look like, it's not that.
Well, no, I agree. You also hear these horror stories about, how it's they kind of guide like the direction of like who's gonna win, so it's
and I know I won't say names, but I know for very personal reasons that it's not about the most talented person or who got the most votes. It's who's friends with the producer or who's friends with that, who's making this connection or that side deal for that other TV show. If this person it's got enough, it's politics.
Yep.
It's musical politics.
Yep. A lot of it also is selling, to my knowledge and understanding. And if someone knows better, educate me. But to my knowledge, also the thing is it's a very niche area that produces millions of dollars, which is in Vegas. And Vegas shows normally it's like a lot of volume, but it's hard to develop your brand and stuff like that because people aren't really paying attention. There's so much going on that they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go see this person because I'm here. So it's not, I don't think, and I could be wrong, that there's that level of interaction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Great show though.
Great show. Yeah.
Now, I see it. You're killing it on social media. Do you have somebody that's doing that for you, or are you doing that yourself?
That is a whole lot of grunt work on my end.
Awesome.
Right.
I have an amazing team of people that I work with. And one of my managers, Chrissy, is a wonderful artist development coach. And so she's got amazing guidance that she gives me along the way. But it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of just trying to be consistent, which is frustrating for me because I prefer quality over quantity. But the way that the algorithms are and the way social media is, in order to get any attention, you have to be, it's part of my job. So, and I've had to come to terms with finding a way to like it and enjoy it. So, and that's kind of a struggle for me all the time, but it's it's an absolutely necessary cog in the wheel of success is social media. Right. And it's very little about being social. It's all about business. Like it's not what Facebook or what was it, MySpace used to be, where you're actually interacting and checking on people. It's like, no, people are consuming. They're not socializing.
Trying to look prettier.
Yep.
Everyone's got their own personal reality show, their own TV channel that they're the guest, that they're the main star of. And it's really hard in LA because everybody wants to be the star. Nobody wants to be the fan. So it's really hard to break out above the rest unless you're consistent and you're willing to do the grunt work. Because the highlight reels are great, but the amount of work that goes between every single highlight that you share on Instagram, or it's you gotta love the journey, you gotta love the process of it, and all the parts that nobody else gets to see.
Right.
Have you thought about doing anything on Reddit?
No, I don't know much about Reddit or X or Twitter.
Yeah, X is that's going down the drain, but Reddit's sort of like it's
hence the name X.
Yeah, I know. Huge online community. It's more of a like huge like chat room with like people sharing, you know, in all these different like niche categories. But there's a comedian that I found on Reddit, and you know, he grew his career there. And he's actually going to be in a Netflix special, which is crazy. But he's just been sharing his stuff on Reddit, just these short clips. Jeff Curie. Yeah, have you seen him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hilarious guy.
Very intelligent.
Yep.
There's so much to keep up with. There's all these different platforms of you know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, X, and Snapchat, and whatever the next generation of it's going to be. And for me, I've come to identify I am a live performance artist. Like, I'm not trying to be a TikTok influencer. I recognize that I have to play that game. And sure, yeah, I'd love to go viral on social media in some capacity, but that's not the goal for me. Like, put me in front of a human, put me on a stage. I love small stages where I can see to the back of the house and I can make eye contact. It's all about the connection for me. And as much as I love a big giant stage, like I've played Carnegie Hall, which was like a highlight lifetime achievement for me. But you're so far removed from the audience. It made me realize, oh no, I love my little hole in the wall bar venues that I'm playing in Los Angeles because I can actually connect with the individuals. And then I want more of that type of grassroots type of growth. And it's proven to me, getting outside of LA, now that I've been touring over the last year, getting outside of LA, people show up for the music. It doesn't matter that I'm playing. They just want to hear the live music. And so they show up, and I'm fortunate that they walked in the door, not because I'm there, but just because they want music. And people are really, really hungry for that, especially coming out of the pandemic and everything. And I really hope that that is the trajectory of my next couple of years, is just getting in front of bigger audiences, and hopefully they start singing my songs back to me.
Have you thought about any USO shows?
Oh, I would love that. I would absolutely love to do that.
I'll have to, we'll talk offline. I got some links and some people you should call.
Yes,
definitely
please.
like we're starting to do USO shows here pretty soon. So for comedy at least. So
That's awesome.
USO is, I mean, USO shows are great. They're great, man, because they have to be there. So,
yeah, that'd be incredible. Yeah, let's chat about that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Ben, what do you got?
I'm just listening to you two talk.
I
mean, I told you before, I just come on the show to look pretty. I mean, that's the reason I'm here.
Danny, I gotta ask you. One of the things that I notice about you is how clean and beautiful your outfits are. How do you have like I have to ask, my wife asked this. Is that something that you have someone that helps you out with that, or is that just like your style, like the type of grunge rock look like that?
That's been a constant development, personal style, and it's really become, it's branding, really. And I love my body. I love being able to move, and I love fashion. And so it's something that I do play with a lot, but I've kind of settled in on a look. And I've come to find that I love that you called it like a clean, defined rock fashion. I've been having a lot of conversations about it lately because everybody has an opinion. And some people are like, why are you wearing these black painted on leather pants? Why are you exploiting yourself that way? I'm like, I think I look great in tight black pants. for me. Like, why are you taking it so personal?
I was talking about Illustrate magazine. There's a picture you did on Illustrate magazine, which you're like on your side with your hand like this and your leg up, and it looks really cool. From I like old styley. Like let me rephrase that so it doesn't sound as wild. I like that old school rock type of stuff. Like I'm on my side and stuff like that. And again, it's not like you're at least like other artists that are like, join my OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, well, and I was a dancer, so I move my body. My body is part of my music, and I'm not like, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were commenting on one of my music videos where I turned around and I was shaking my butt at the audience, and I was like, actually, I turned around and I was jamming out with my drummer. I was having a moment with the band, grooving. It's
people just zoomed in on my ass.
Right. It makes you think I was doing that for you. Like I was having a musical religious experience up here.
Perception. Yeah,
and
like,
it is.
So I play with style a lot. I love rock and roll. I love being a woman. I love being super feminine. I love being super sexy. I love going really rock sometimes. And sometimes I want to just wear a pretty fluffy dress, and that's what I do. So But yes, when I'm on stage, I have a certain like aesthetic that I try and stick to, a branding that represents the music and the show, because people are coming to see a show. Some people will tell me to be in jeans and t-shirt. It's more relatable. I'm like, well, I'm an entertainer, and I think people are coming to see a show, and the sparkly top that I'm wearing reflects the lights really nicely and dazzles a bit. So I don't care what you think.
Clearly, they've never heard of K-pop or J-pop and stuff like that, man. Like, talk about exploitive. Like,
I probably shouldn't say this, but this conversation that I was having, I can't imagine that the person will. But in the same breath of saying, why are you wearing these tight black leather pants and exploiting yourself, ... And why are you playing a guitar? You're covering up your body. What are you thinking? I was just like, a woman in the music industry and scene. Like, this is just... So it's a struggle, and especially when you've got a bunch of men wanting to tell you what their version of a fantasy version of you looks like. I don't really pay attention.
Is modeling something that you'd be interested in? Because you have a very... Go ahead.
I've done a lot of modeling in the past. It's not something that I pursue, but when it comes my way, I do, because I love fashion and I love playing dress up. So yeah, if in a photo shoot we want to go a little bit more hard rock, then I'm going to style it that way. And then if we do a photo shoot that's going to go a little bit more feminine, I'll style it that way. And I'm allowed to have that range of expression, not only musically, I can jump genre to genre if I feel like it, but also aesthetically and fashion wise, all of the things. Like, I love the complexity of being a woman. I love the struggle of being a woman in a male dominated industry, because, it's that my song Good Guy is actually about that, in part of like, as much of a challenge as it's been, and realizing that I really am the only woman in the room most of the time. But the men that I surround myself with are, generally speaking, really amazing. And they've been so supportive and helped to elevate my career and provide these opportunities. So I'm not griping about these amazing men around me, but I would like to expand, bringing some females on board as well. But it's an interesting challenge.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
I know we have a hard out in about 6 minutes. So I just want to make sure that we clarify that. I don't want this to go and her be like,
I got
And I wish I could stay longer. I'm having fun with you guys.
We did have another video to play as well. Do you want?
Well, we've got 6 minutes, so we're going to leave that up to Dani. We have another video we can play, which is 3 minutes long, which will kill half the time that you have left, or we can just keep chatting.
We can keep chatting, and whoever's watching, go to YouTube and just search Dani Hagan, and they'll all pop up.
Right, and actually, you can find out everything you want to know about Dani. Where, Leo?
Why don't you do it, Ben?
No, because you do it so much better. Come on, don't waste time, Leo. Come on.
Yeah. Just check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us.
That's right. Everything about her is in the show notes, folks. So,
thank you.
All right, back to the show. Now we have 5 minutes
to the show. Dani, what is between New York and LA, which you've lived in both, right? Mm-hmm. Which one do you feel has more of a music community? Because here's why I asked this. in the comedy scene, everybody's like, well, you have to either go to New York or go to LA, and LA is where you work and you make it. New York is where you go where you've made it. How does that correlate in the music industry, or at least your experience in it?
Well, it depends on which chapter of the music industry you're trying to be in. Like, are you in front of the microphone? Or are you behind the keyboard? Are you behind an instrument? What genre you're playing? I can't speak too well on the New York music scene because when I was there, I was focused in more of like a musical theater side of things. And the community that I've built out here in California is absolutely unmatched. It's wild. The incredible musicians that I've been able to work with and collaborate with and just witness is pretty astounding. So I celebrate California. I went back, as I mentioned, I performed at Carnegie Hall, and that was my first time back in New York since I had lived there, and it was a few years after. And I went there in the best of circumstances, right? I was performing at Carnegie Hall. I had an Upper East Side apartment that I was staying at. It was like as New York perfection as you could imagine. I got there and I'm like, I really love it here, but I don't miss living here. I'm a California girl.
Makes sense. I can see the living. That's why I'm in Missouri. Like, just living in the East Coast is a little too yeah.
It's what?
Well, I lived in Massachusetts. I can talk, my man. I lived in more countries than I care to.
Massachusetts.
Hey, you guys enjoy that cold weather. I'm gonna stay here in Missouri and go hunt my deer. And yeah.
Well, you do realize the cold weather slows down the blood. It keeps us younger. We live longer.
Sure. That works well when you're white. When you're Puerto Rican, unfortunately, that cold weather.
That's where I struggle. I am as Norwegian and Irish as it gets. So like being a California girl that's like slathering herself in SPF 100 every day, it's a challenge. But
she's like, I don't even have to dye my hair. My hair just turns red naturally. I step outside for 5 minutes and it's like, what? That's interesting.
To live in the sun, but I do love it.
That's interesting to hear because the weather is it's not working for you, Ben. Jesus Christ.
Right. I saw that. I saw that.
That was not me.
I'll take care of Pops later. Yeah.
That was not me. That did not come from me.
No, that came from one of our other sister networks.
Oh man. It's interesting to see because music to me, growing up in Puerto Rico, like music is huge, And obviously our kind of music is completely different, reggaeton is like completely different, but like rock has a real strong hold on Hispanic culture. And that's one of the reasons why I like talking with like musicians who dive in that, because I grew up with grunge and punk, man. Like it's just my thing, like if you ask me what kind of song, what I want to see is like something that sounds like if Yellow Card and Paramore had a baby and that baby was picked up by Sony Studios, like that's me at least. But it's nice to see that you have that range.
Well, you'll hear some Nirvana influences on the new tracks that I've just started recording this last weekend. You'll hear some Nirvana, you'll hear some Evanescence, you'll hear some Paramore. There's a lot of and Gary Clark Jr. So there's a lot of, like I said, I love to be influenced and I love to be creative in music.
When's that coming out? When can we expect that out, and when can we find that?
I'll probably start releasing new music I'll say early or late January, which probably means early March. Just the tempo of LA, it's always 6 months behind and right on time. So, right. I was supposed to go back to London 3 months ago, and so it's probably like in 3 months from now I'll probably be there.
So
I know
we have about 3 minutes left before we have to let you go. What's coming out? What do you have coming down the line?
I am going to be on tour in Arizona in mid-January. So we're doing a couple of tour dates out there and then jumping over to New York City to do a showcase out there and starting to release the next chapter of music. The next EP is going to start to roll out, like I said, hopefully we'll say February to meet in the middle. And Zach Wilde's Pride and Glory CD, I will have to check that out. Thank you, Madness Comic Network. I'll check it out. Yeah, so more tour dates coming up, and hopefully we'll get into some festival circuits and start opening for an established band so I can steal their audience and just keep doing what I've been doing for the last 2 years, just on a bigger, better playground.
Right. So any other tour dates on the East Coast set in stone, or just in New York? I mean, you're going to travel
Maybe the
north,
Midwest.
Hey, listen, I live
Hopefully
in North.
Nothing is set yet. We are working on new tour dates right now, so hopefully we'll start touring again, like big tours in the springtime. But I've got solid music. Like I've got like a really good show that I get to put on, and my band is amazing. So the more audiences I can get in front of, the happier I am as an artist. So
Excellent.
all
So
in the works.
we got about a minute left, so I'm going to throw this out there to all the promoters I know on the East Coast. She's going to be in New York.
Yeah.
Just going to say it. She's going to be in New York, folks.
Mm-hmm.
My promoter friends out there, I mean, she's amazing. You've seen it. Go check out her YouTube and book her on some dates up the East Coast.
Yeah. It sounds like I'll be at the APAP convention, which I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's where all the promoters and agents come to pick up acts. So it's like I don't really know what it is, but I will be there and I will be performing.
Excellent. So on that note, we do have a hard out, Leo.
Yep.
Wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. Hey, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know how to find me. Just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Head on over to thetokingdead.com to learn more. And just check out the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, to get all the links for Dani. And so, Dani, where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
Instagram and TikTok, I'm the most active. I do try and keep up with Facebook as well, but Instagram and TikTok. And then, of course, check out my music on Spotify. And I'm a very visual artist, so my music videos are a big part of my expression of my music. So if you check me out on YouTube and Vivo, you can find me there as well.
Very cool. Rico.
My man, first of all, thank you for having me. This has been a really good opportunity. I always love seeing you guys, and I'm always here to help. To everybody listening, go like the Dorkening. If you don't, you're dead to me. And for the people who want to follow me, you can just go to language_ninja on my Instagram, and on YouTube, the Rico Podcast. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Benjamin.
So yeah, like Rico said, go like the Dorkening, but don't forget to like Still Toking With, because that's the show. Well, that's this show, but there's 40 plus shows on the network. I want to thank Dani for coming out and hanging out with us. I know she's wrapped for time. Rico for coming out and hanging out with us. We always love seeing you, brother. To all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out of here. Bye.